of course, expecting fireworks in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. The two Biwards lining up in 1 and 2, Celestine and Joyce, won their respective heats in the semi-finals. Do you expect them to continue with the dominance, or you expect something different from this 3,000 meter steeplechase as you take it out?
Well, of course, that is the 3,000 meter steeplechase women's final, and we have the two Biwards, as Mulemi has mentioned. And you look at somebody like Natasha Langat, mark that name, Diana Chepkemoy, another name, Roslyn Chepngetich, another name, Karen Chebet, another name. Actually, we have so many good athletes here, but of course when the race started, of course, you can see they sprinted and they're already in front with 7 laps to go. We have 3 athletes there, Karen Chebet representing our prisons, and of course we are going to see how this race will unfold, because already it's in a fast pace, and it's a fast. Of course, it's the fast hit. It's the first lap, and they are already very fast. And of course, I will be telling you who is currently leading there. And of course, I can see Biwott there, Joyce Biwott following closely. And remember, you have to run a calculative race, just as Isabella was saying. Remember, this is a technical race where you have to jump the barrier so well so that you can be able to be in good position. And of course, you see the leading athlete there jumped and stood at the water jump, and that is how many athletes normally lose this. Well, we have 14 athletes competing in this event. Currently leading now is Joyce Biwott, who is currently leading. And of course, Karen Chebet in second place, trying to catch up with Joyce Biwott, who trains in Trans Nzoia. Of course, juggling has training sessions in Trans Nzoia and Eldoret in Kimumu. And that is... And what I can tell you this morning is that this competition has seen the disciplined forces dominate this event. Kenya Police, Kenya Defense Forces, and Kenya Prisons, who've been always on top with the athletes on top of this event. So, of course, 6 laps to go there. They are still, of course, stuck together, about 4 or 5 athletes in one group. But we shall be able to know in the next 3 or 2 laps what will happen. Of course, jumping the water barrier there, you have to do it so nicely, because remember, this is a technical race. Any mistake will put you down. Just to bring to your attention, in 2022, during the 2022 Birmingham Games, Jacqueline Chepkoech won gold after clocking 9:15:68, which was her personal best then. Of course, with Elizabeth Bard from England winning a silver, and Peruth Chemtai won a bronze medal after clocking 9:23:24. Are we going to defend our titles this year? Are we going to defend our titles this year and see if we are going to get a gold medal again? But it depends for those who are going to be selected to represent Kenya in this event. And of course, some music there from the Kenya Prisons Band, entertaining fans here at the stadium. And of course, we have an athlete from a Nairobi region currently reading. In that, I'll be telling you, that is clip number 358. That is Natasha Langat from Nairobi region. Of course, I told you earlier, mark that name. We now have Natasha, we have Joyce Biwott, and we have Celestine Biwott. And of course, Diana Chepkemoy coming 4th, Karen Chebet coming 5th. Those are the top 5 athletes competing in that event with 4 laps to go. And of course, Natasha is under the Lemotit training camp, that is in Kericho County. They normally train in Londiani. of course, Celestine Biwott trains in E10, and of course, she now takes the lead, as you can see. And of course, Joyce there trying to recover and coming in second place. We have now 3 athletes going into that race together. They are stuck together. Celestine, Joyce, Anastasia, and they all train in different areas. Celestine trains in E10, and Anastasia does it in Londiani, that is in Kericho County, and Joyce trains in Trans Nzoia, that is in, of course, at the Ndura Sports Complex. As they come over there to jump the barrier there before they head to the 3 laps to go there. They're exchanging leads here. You can see Natasha now taking control of the race. Celestine following closely. Joyce Biwott there. Of course, I can see Joyce slowing down to jump the barrier there. But the 2 athletes have now broken away from Joyce and Natasha and Celestine. And of course, you have to jump that barrier so well so that you can be able in good position. And of course, Joyce is trying to use a long stride to make it, to catch up with the leading 2 athletes. There they go. And of course, Celestine Biwott representing Kenya Defence Forces has done 9:42.57. And of course, Joyce Biwott from Central Rift has done 9:44, and of course Natasha Langat from Nairobi region 9:48.78. But again, of course, Celestine Biwott now takes control of the race with Natasha hanging on. Remember, Natasha trains at the Lemotit camp in Londiani, that is in Kericho County, under Coach Paul Kemei. 2 athletes in the lead. Celestine doing her thing there. There she goes. And of course, taking control of the race now. Following closely is Natasha from Londiani, that is in Lemotit, under Paul Kemei. And of course, Joyce Biwott now has been dropped about 10 meters behind. She is trying to hang on. Is she going to make the team that will be representing Kenya at the Commonwealth Games? 2 laps to go. 1.5 laps to go. They are coming for the bell, and of course they are jumping there swiftly, heading to the water jump. Will Natasha hang on behind Celestine? Remember, Celestine represents Kenya Defence Forces, but she trains in E10, and she has been consistent in her events, and she is now taking control of that race. She has started to move forward, and of course, Natasha started dropping, representing Nairobi region. Look at that. She is now going for the bell. And the bell goes. And of course, she looks behind, and Anastasia has, of course, dropped. And now she goes. There she goes. 300 meters to go. Will she be able to maintain that pace? Of course, she has dropped Anastasia about 10 meters. And of course, Anastasia now is hanging on in the 2nd place. Look at the long strides there, running beautifully, jumping the barriers in a swift way. Of course, there she goes. Celestine Biwott, she wants to show that she is still there. Remember, she also, she was in the team that represented Kenya. And again, she wants to represent Kenya at the Commonwealth Games. There she goes, the last water jump. There she goes. Kenya Defence Forces. Of course, I'm seated next to some of the Kenya Defence Forces fans who are very happy about her. And there she goes, the last jump. And she does it so nicely. There she goes. Celestine Biwott wins this race in 9:26.14. And Joyce now, of course, battling there out with Anastasia. I don't know. That was a photo finish. And she has a good finishing kick. Wow. What a race. Of course, Celestine Biwott is the winner of this race in 9:26:14, and of course the national champion today. Of course, she will be representing Kenya at the Commonwealth Games in Scotland. What a race. Remember, we are coming live to you from NYAYO National Stadium in Nairobi. This is the national championships and trials for the Commonwealth Games, which will be used to select a national team that will represent Kenya at the Commonwealth Games in Scotland. Remember, Athletics Kenya has been given a slot of about 49 athletes who will be able to join the other teams and represent Kenya in that noble cause or that event. Wow, what a race. And of course, that was the 3,000 meter steeplechase women's race. And then we head to we now go to the next.
Celestine Biwott also saying that she was going. They are both agreeing that they need to work on their barrier clearance for them to be able to make it for Team Kenya. Over to you as we continue with the next race.